Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion. See, like a little Dramamine there, little G having his little morning drink. We're on Inspiration Bridge once again. It really actually isn't planned every day. We just kind of land here. So my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am thrilled to be in the woods today. A lot of humidity, a lot of bugs, a lot of bird song, a lot of really good bird song, and a lot of really nice creek sounds, which balance out the bugs. So anyway, what I'd like to talk about today is, how do I love myself? Well, that's a bigger question than just what we're going to talk about today. But certainly one of the ways to start is to take a big deep breath. And I got some humidity there. Okay, there we go. I wish if I had like windshield wipers and like glasses today, it'd be really good. But that's okay. I got fingers, so it'll all be fine. So to take a big deep breath in, just in. Because when we do this, it's not just like a touchy-feely situation. It is actually a neurological reset where the mind is reunited with the body. And which means it's brought back from next Tuesday or next Thursday, or whoever said something snarky to you last Monday or whatever happened to you 3 years ago. It all brings you right back into your body. So where we're going with this is the body today. Because as mentioned in earlier episodes, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And this beautiful vessel that, our spirits are traveling in is like, a lot of religions call it a temple, right? Because there's honor to it. However you want to choose to have that fit your belief system. There's a certain reverence or respect for the body, no matter how you look, no matter what parts of you work and what don't. With any and all imperfections, your height, your weight, whether you're able to walk, whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you have diabetes, whether you have some other different disease, if one of your senses or more doesn't work, whatever, the body with any and all of its imperfections is the honorable vessel that your perfect spirit is traveling this earth in. And it's just so important to sort of realize that. And I'll tell you, part of this I'm inspired by. I just had my annual checkup yesterday, which went very well, thankfully. And as they say, the first wealth is health. Or I think Ben Franklin said that, but don't quote me. Or actually, I'm quoting him, so there you go. The first wealth is health. And we're not looking, just like anything else, we're not striving for perfection. Progress, not perfection. And when you get into your middle life years, right, got things you just got to start to pay attention to and everything like that. It's a situation where you want to be able to look in the mirror in your nakedness with all these imperfections and still say, "Mwah, love you." And I know at a fabulous 57, I've certainly developed some nooks and crannies at this point, kind of like an English muffin. And, we still, but like, wow, that to have this respect and, honor and respect for your body. So here, and that can be, there are all kinds of meditations out there for that, by the way. To be mindful of this. And I also want to share with you an exercise that I do with my Minecrafters, which they really enjoy, and it gets deep for some of them. And I would suggest that you give it a try. We've talked a lot about the gratitude journal and such. And during Minecraft, it's not, I wouldn't say once a week, like, in that kind of regimented order, but it's here and there throughout the semester, and usually gels with whatever we're talking about. I have them do an assignment where they write a letter to their body. From the me inside the body to my body. And it involves two main themes, gratitude and forgiveness. And wow, what comes out of these 18 and 19-year-olds, for the most part. Minecraft is required for psych majors. So the majority are first years, though not everybody, because it's an elective. Anybody, a senior business major can take it if they want, and they do. But mostly they're young. And even 22 or 3 is also young. So that you should hear what comes out of them. And obviously sharing is voluntary. There's also a whole, gray area with that. They can choose to share the gratitude part, not the forgiveness part, or they can, whatever, just one sentence. And most of them, majority of them will ask if they can read parts of it. And what comes out of them is amazing. There's a ton of gratitude that they share about being, again, a lot of them are coming out of high school, being able to play sports through high school. A lot of them being able to walk, being able to hug, and then they get into who they're hugging. Being able to hug my grandma, being able to travel, because some of them had the opportunity to travel, the sensation of touch and taste, and they get into this. They get really deep about it. And then when the forgiveness part comes, wow, some of them get a bit teary because they'll share things about maybe some drug use, some, you know, binge drinking sometimes. Obviously, alcohol is also a drug, but they usually it's shared a little differently. Sometimes if they've had a little go with cigarettes, and they'll cry because they you know, what have I done, you know, talking to the body, what have I done to you, please forgive me. And then also there's the you know, bad choice making with food, so that sometimes comes out. And you know, most of us in college and then that age in general, I think, don't always make the best food choice, and especially since we're up late. And if we are, you know, out there partying, carousing, you know, it's after midnight. The food choices that are available for delivery after midnight aren't usually coming from hippie Whole Foods. You know what I mean? So it's going to be, you know, all the various fried and greasy options and pizza and everything like that. And so anyway, it's a really good exercise, and I would strongly encourage you to do that. And then you know, suggest that they put it somewhere. And a lot of my mind crafters will tell me way later, some of them come back years later and say things, that they kept a little folder of the different activities we did in the class. And this is one of them that can, you know, they can look back in 5 years or 10 years and see what their 18 or 19 or 22-year-old self wrote to their body. And it's amazing. Oh, you know what else often comes out, usually from the identifying females, but sometimes from identifying males too, is eating disorders, and how, you know, struggles with this, and the guilt that they sometimes share, even though it's obviously it's complicated and it's anything but anybody's fault, right? But the fact, and it's not a therapy session. It's actually the sharing is very appropriate. It's very appropriate, and they also know when to say, okay, I'm going to share this and not this, and they get a lot of support from each other. So anyway, I'm sharing that with you so that you hopefully will consider doing it, because it can be incredibly, not just healing, but there's so much awareness with it. And the mind-body connection is, you know, it's inseparable, obviously. And it's often said, if you want to know what's happening with the mind, ask the body, right? We were talking about that a few episodes ago. Even some of the cancers come from just massive disease of the mind, you know, just rumination and perseveration and chronic stress that isn't managed. And so this exercise really can foster further gratitude and mindfulness about the mind-body connection, and really help us to love ourselves when we honor and revere the vessel that our very perfect, beautiful spirit is walking around in. And it actually, and with all the imperfections, not I'll love myself when I lose 30 pounds. No. Even if you're grossly overweight or you have some other issue, loving yourself now is what's important. That is what this talk is about. Your body will forgive you. You know, your body forgives you. And it's so important to really develop that acceptance of yourself and your relation with your body. It is a duality because there's spirit in the body, right? And that divine connection that just feeds us all every day in every way. So that is the first step, in my opinion, or one of the key steps in learning how to love yourself, is starting with the part of you that's carrying the you around everywhere you go, and being grateful for eyesight and hearing if everything's intact, and a straight vertebrae, and legs to walk around and go to museums and stuff, and arms to hug, and hands to, and lips to kiss with, and all that stuff. It's really quite a nice exercise. So that's it. How do I love myself? Start with inviting your mind back into your body and celebrate you exactly as you are. Oh, and last thing, I'll leave you with this kind of visual, because I'm such a Harry Potter fan. If any of you have seen that, there's I think it's in it is the first one, the Sorcerer's Stone, where Harry lands on the mirror of Erised, and he's looking in the mirror, just like G's kind of looking right now, waiting to go, looking in the mirror, and he sees behind him everything he wishes for himself, like his parents who have passed, if you know the story, and, you know, all these other things. And then he brings Ron over, and Ron sees himself as head boy and captain of the Quidditch team and all this stuff. And the whole point of that, when Dumbledore, the headmaster, shows up, is said, you basically, I'm paraphrasing Dumbledore now, but you kind of know when you've kind of arrived in yourself, when you can look in that mirror and see yourself exactly as you are. Like I said, with my 57-year-old body and its nooks and crannies, where I can stare in that mirror in my nakedness and love myself exactly as I am without seeing any changes. It doesn't mean we don't strive to be healthier, and maybe if you want to lose some weight or get more fit or whatever. I'm not saying we're not going to make some healthy goals. That's good, but and to just love yourself as you are in the process, as you are right now with your life minutes in this moment, no matter what's going on with your body. And then tell yourself that. Look yourself right in the eyes, straight ahead, and say, I love you exactly as you are. I love you exactly as you are in this moment right now. Excellent. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off for Little Giovanni at the Notch in Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.